to Two Tangled Skeins.
Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins.
Should I say it too? Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins.
There we go.
I'm Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7. Today we are, not Friday, Saturday, May 6th. This is episode 202, and I would like to welcome new and returning viewers.
Hello. Welcome. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say.
That's right.
Oh, well, Lynn, you're next anyway.
Oh, okay. I'm Lynn, also known as Toll Baby. You can find us on Ravelry, Facebook, our blog at twotangledskeins.com, and on YouTube.
And I am Selma, also known as Selma Knits. And you can also find us on Twitter, on Instagram, and we all have Etsy shops. You can find the links to those Etsy shops in our Ravelry group. So come to the Ravelry group if you haven't already joined, and join in. That's where all our knit-alongs and everything.
So much stuff going on.
So much stuff going on. There you go. So, hello.
So, I'm going to approach the fact that I didn't go to the frolic last week, and a lot of people who are on Instagram are watchers of the podcast, and I got in a really bad car accident with the coworker and friend in the car.
On the way to the frolic.
On the way to the frolic.
Yeah.
So we're both pretty banged up. They did a lot of tests on us, so nothing that they could see from the test.
Nothing broken.
No.
Just
so
a lot of bruising.
A lot of bruising and having to walk with a cane and dealing with the insurance is so much fun. Not. Sorry. I have
She's on heavy medication.
maybe
Painkillers, yes.
I have problems remembering a lot. I don't remember the crash. I don't know how it happened. I have no recollection except for I knew that we were going to a rest stop very soon. And then I remember seeing a fireman. That's it.
It was bad.
Yep, my car is a write-off, and I'm thankful that we were driving a Honda, which basically saved our lives.
Why Honda? Because
They have very good safety rating.
Very good safety rating. With the amount of damage to the front of my car, we should not have walked away unscathed, as opposed to like just muscle and tissue damage.
Yeah, the pictures she posted on Instagram, the front end was
I saw that.
And both airbags went off.
Yeah.
Which is how Shella probably stabbed herself in the face with a knitting needle.
Shella.
She said she put her hands up to protect her face.
She's got a
and
little
the airbag
mark here.
Smashed her hands into her face.
She had a little mark here from the knitting needle, but her metal knitting needle, it was bent. But she did end up with
one
black
needle
eye
went through her
because
finger.
By trying to protect herself, she ended up punching herself, essentially.
Yeah.
But I think you guys are mostly banged up from the seat belt and that.
The knee thing, they figured I got jammed into the console. I have no idea. It's my knee and my heel, so I can't really walk on my foot properly. So my husband got me a cane so he could go back to work.
Yeah. And I was in Toronto. I went into Toronto Thursday night by plane.
We were supposed to meet up.
Yeah. So originally we were going to drive together, but I wanted to go in Thursday night to have dinner with a bunch of knitters, which was really fun.
Pictures looked like so much fun. I wanted to meet Eric and Christina and a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, it was, and I met lovely, lovely people. It was really nice. And then Friday, I decided to go to the Art Gallery of Ontario and see there's an exhibit of Georgia O'Keeffe's right now, whose work I really like. Unfortunately, my camera died right after I took the picture of like the inside of the art gallery. And there were a couple of paintings I just wanted to take a picture of because the colors were so incredible.
I'm surprised they allow that, because the National Gallery doesn't allow photography.
You can't use a flash.
Okay.
But I mean,
because we
how
were
can you
told,
stop anybody anymore from taking pictures?
Well,
really?
I was told by a security guard at the National Gallery we didn't know we weren't allowed to take pictures because there's no signs anywhere.
I've never been.
But we were told by a security guard that we had to delete all our pictures right in front of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Never had an issue. Anyway,
and it wasn't even a special.
That's when I got a call that these guys had been in an accident. Shella called me from.
I don't even know how I got out of the car. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
You did not get out of the car. They got you out of the car.
Yeah.
Well, my car ended up against a guardrail, so they couldn't open the door. Get me out through the window. I don't know. Sean said the driver's seat was all the way back, so they might have got me out that way.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently I'm supposed to say the rumors of my demise were greatly exaggerated.
No, we didn't tell anybody you were dead.
No.
Which rumors?
Something my husband told me
It's
to say.
a gag from.
He's like, the
from
Trekkies will get
60s.
it.
Oh, okay.
There were extensive rumors, and it was reported in all the news agencies that Paul McCartney had died after a car accident in Scotland with his wife.
He's like, you need to say that.
He did not die, so that's what he
there
said.
There you go. No, you guys are both still standing, and all is well.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't able to see my doctor last week, so I have to call on Monday to see if he'll open up the slots that he keeps, because I need physio.
yeah, for sure.
So
yeah. So the frolic didn't happen for Sue this year. I was there, and it was a lot of fun. I hope that we can all go next year.
We'd hug her, but it would hurt.
Yeah, I patted her back earlier. So
I won't be driving. I'll take a train.
Yeah.
Don't even know if I can drive a car right now.
Yeah.
And
right now, no.
But it was really awesome. It was awesome. I met a bunch of viewers.
How was the podcast meetup?
Well, the podcast meetup was fairly small. It wasn't particularly well advertised, but it was great. Well, I met Eric at dinner, and oh my gosh, I met Shella. Shamika was at dinner. I met Shella and Margaret from the Three Sisters podcast. I met Carrie was there, who used to be part of the Two Tangled Skeins. It was really nice to see her, and she looks great and is very happy where she's living in Southern Ontario. And she is going to be podcasting again. Ah, darn it. Suddenly I can't remember the name of the...
Knit Pug.
No.
Oh.
She's starting a new podcast with a friend of hers.
Cool.
And if it comes back to me later, I'll let you guys know, so you can watch out for it when it comes out. Met some viewers as well. Pinhead and Blue Nines One, and the other Ramona.
Yes.
The Ramona that used to be on the Vcans. She was there as well, and
she has a podcast now.
Yes, does she?
Yes.
Ramona, why didn't you say anything? We were VCanning the other night and she didn't say a thing.
She has a podcast now.
So it was really nice. And actually the actual festival and all the vendors and stuff was bigger than I expected it to be. It was and far more crowded. It was very crowded, and I was sort of surprised by that. So the Toronto fiber community is alive and healthy. So it was really worth it. I really enjoyed it, and it was really nice to meet up with people. I met Lori, who was into it knit, who said she was there as well. So it was great to see her again, because we had hung out in Edinburgh at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and
I knew the name from. Okay.
Yeah, I know I've forgotten.
Somewhere,
I know I've forgotten some people that I've met, but it was really fun. Really, really, really fun.
That's good.
So I hope that it'll be fun to come to Toronto again. Maybe even not for the frolic, but for other stuff, and meet up with people. It was really great.
Yep, and I missed going to see my daughter, who I was supposed to see on the Saturday.
Yeah,
she'll be down this Friday, so for Mother's Day, so I'll get to see her.
Yeah, so there'll be a few things in the acquisition session.
Yep, because the frolic kind of came to me.
The shadow of my head is making it look like there's this big poof of hair sticking.
But you do have a bun, though.
Yes, I do, because I was getting warm.
Yeah. So there we go.
So you both have FOs.
We do. Do you want to go first?
I kind of
to talk about the elephant in the room?
Epic.
I am going to give up trying to do that stitch, because I just completely messed it up. I wasn't looking, and I went right.
Did your mouse disappear?
I had my mouse here, but my mouse went a little down.
He was searching for warmth.
He was.
I am wearing my faux. I finished the Find Your Fade.
Yay! Yay! The epic Find Your Fade, and I have to say, you didn't make it look very epic. Like, you just...
It's not complicated. It's like one of the easiest things I've ever knit. So, hang on, I gotta get it off, because it's ginormous and very warm. So I will gild Selma when it ends. It doesn't really matter which side is the front and which is the back, because they're the same.
It's basically Friends of Lynne, Find Your Fade.
Pretty much. So it started over here, and this, I used 7 colors. She says in the pattern you can use anything from like 1 color to however many you want. I've seen a couple where people did like 10 or more. But this thing is like really massive. This is probably, well, it spans the length of the room.
It certainly does.
From one end to the other.
Yeah.
So it's at least 10 feet. Is this a 10-foot room or an 8-foot room?
Yes.
Either way, it's at least 8 feet long. So it's ginormous. We started with Cyborg Craft Room, a Sparkleate in the Soulless colorway.
Really, that's beautiful.
That was for me.
Is Cattail Knits, Brucey Sock Silver in the Stunning Suki colorway. That's this yellow, purple, and blue over here. Also from you.
Which I crocheted into a square recently.
Yes. This is Lady Pearl Sock in the For Amy colorway, and that's from Brandy. This yellow and orange here is Bittersweet Woolery's Guilty Pleasures in the Harvest King colorway.
I love this part here, how it really fades, like...
Yeah, the yellow and the orange.
Yeah.
And this orange is Vine Footsie Base in the Beach Bum colorway. That's from Kristen at Vine. This is Nitpicks Hawthorne. Sorry, we're just going to cover Sue up completely here. Nitpicks Hawthorne in the Lads Edition colorway, which is apparently a neighborhood in Baltimore, I think. That's from Andrea. And this end one here with the green is Three Irish Girls Adorned Sock in the Giving Tree colorway, and that's from Crystal. So, yes, all my friends are a lot of my friends are represented in this. And I think it's a fitting finish for the date of Ravelry's 10th anniversary, because that's the day I finished it.
No kidding. I didn't realize that. Congratulations, Ravelry.
So,
wow, 10 years.
And all the people whose yarn is represented here are people that I know through Ravelry. So I thought that was rather fitting that I finished it on Ravelry's anniversary. And
do you remember the colorway from Kristen's yarn?
Kristen is Beach Bum.
Beach Bum's great. I like it.
I know, I really liked it. I thought it was going to be a lot more orange, but there's a lot of beige in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep it off
I was
the
looking
needles.
at mine the other day. It's called Dirty on Purpose.
I love the little pops of really bright orange in the midst of the beige. I think that really made it. Because if it had been...
The pooling right here is nice.
Yeah, it's neat.
And I really like the way it turned out. I may block it just because there's some uneven bits here. Like there's some bits that got stretched out of it.
You could steam block it rather than block it.
Yeah.
Right? Just putting a wet cloth on it and steaming it.
I'm really tempted to start the next one.
So do it.
Yeah.
Rather than start my cardigan.
You actually really enjoyed this,
So I think I'm going to start my next one.
So what's the next colors? Well, you have several chosen.
I have two that are already parceled out. I have one that's all shades of blue and one that's all shades of red and pink.
Nice.
Deep pink. So I don't know which one I want to do first.
That is
probably the reds and pinks, because that has a bunch of Three Irish Girls that I'm very partial to in it as well.
Yeah, I decided to frog my fade. I haven't frogged it, and I haven't seen it worn in a way that I like. So I might actually do the sweater. Because I have the yarn picked out, so I'm...
Yes, because Andrea Mowry came out with a new pattern called Just Faded, and it's a sweater based on the Find Fade.
Did you see the kids one? Oh my god.
Super cute.
Super cute.
Isla would probably like that. Although she's not really a kid size anymore.
I would want to turn it into a cardigan though.
I'm just going to try to find the middle here. There's the middle. Just to show you. If I put this on and stand up,
it's like to your...
It reaches down past my knees.
Yeah.
It's a big shawl.
And that's not even blocked.
It's not blocked. And it's super squishy and comfy and colorful.
I can
and
see
I love it.
you in the way that you wrap yourself up in the winter.
Yeah, my little yarn fortresses.
Yes.
So I'm just going to do that with it for now, because it's a big shawl. And I mean, I'm a big girl. And that's the problem that I have with one skein sock yarn shawls, is that they're not big enough to like cover my shoulders. They're big enough to like cover my neck.
You at least need the shoulders.
Yeah, well that's the thing. I mean, if
They're too
it's
small
chilly out, if I was wearing a black dress and this, I'd be perfectly comfortable in just about any temperature. So, well, unless it got warm.
You can wear it with absolutely any color.
And I will confess it's not Jen finished because I misplaced my darning needles. My last 3 ends aren't woven in. So technically, according to Jen, it's not done yet. Because my
Does it
last...
have to be blocked?
For it to be Jen finished? I don't know. Jen, what do you say?
You keep us on the straight and narrow, Jen. You really do.
I just think it's done, and a lot of my items would not be Jen finished because not a sock that I have has the...
I don't think she walks. I mean, she's
in.
actually... Was it her that was wearing socks the other day that the ends were just tucked in?
Or Sarah.
Somehow I doubt it was Jen. But yeah, so it's not quite Jen finished, but it's getting there. I will find my darning needles this afternoon and finish it properly. And I will be winding the yarn for the next one when I get home.
Awesome.
That is great.
I will start the cardigan while I'm knitting the second one because I do want the cardigan, but now that it's hot out,
you don't want the cardigan.
I'm less motivated to knit the cardigan. I do really, really want it, especially since I've talked to Fiona Ellis about it, and she's
and the way
been very encouraging.
Knitters are is we tend to knit sweaters in the winter when we should be really knitting them in the spring to be done for the winter.
Or start them in the summer so that they're done by the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to start the new one, and but not until I finish this little guy.
So do you have pictures of the colors that you picked out, like all together?
No.
We're just going to find out as she goes along. We're going to find her fate.
I was a little disappointed I couldn't work Jeanette's yarn into the blue one. But it was too different from all the other shades, and it was a much plumper yarn with tweed in it, and I didn't want it to get lost in the fade.
Right.
So I'm saving that one for something special, Jeanette.
Lost in the Fade. That sounds like a TV show or something. Maybe it needs to be the title of our episode.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my faux. It's by Andrea Mowry, and it is knit on a 5mm, which is 3.75 millimeters, which is US 5.
Very cool. I am just doing a crochet square. I'm going to put this down for now. So I've got 2 FOs. And I just look at the little mouse. We'll talk about that later. But I'm very excited about the little mouse. So is Isla. All right. First thing that's finished, which is not Jen finished because I haven't sewn in the ends yet, but I do sew in the ends of my socks.
I just tuck them in.
So here are my Gumi socks.
Which I am winding up the ends.
So if you look up from your knitting for a moment, you will notice something pretty obvious, I think.
They're one shorter than the other.
No, that's not the case because actually when you put the next one in, they are.
But they're not matchy-matchy.
They're not totally matchy-matchy, and this one is lighter than this one. So
the 2 skeins were...
Yeah, this, before I talk about the pattern, this was the Bergère de France Gumi 50 series in their Imprime Prune colorway. The same thing happened with the Imprime Beige ones that I did. Even though it's the same colorway,
I have to look out for that because I have some for myself.
It's the same colorway, same dye lot. And not only are the colors slightly different, but the lengths of things are slightly different too. And what I did in the second sock, which is the darker sock, I realized when I got to the end of the toe that it wasn't the first stripe wasn't going to be in the same in the right spot. So I cut the yarn, and I just started the stripe. But the same thing happened when I finished the heel. I should have been at the stripe already, because in this sock, the stripe actually started as I was finishing the heel, so it's actually narrower in front. Whereas here, it hadn't started, and there was still a lot of the dark gray, so I cut it. But then as I went along with the yarn, look at the top of the sock, the pink stripes are in completely the wrong place, and I just thought at that point I don't really care, except that one of the reasons I made this pair, because I wanted darker socks and I wanted a darker bit at the top. But then I ended up with this, on the second sock, with this red thing, because when I wear my my little short ankle boots with dresses and stuff, and there's a little bit of my sock showing at the top. Most of my socks are like bright colors and stuff, and if you've got like black tights on, you don't really necessarily want like a lime green stripe right there. So I thought I'll make some, more muted colors. At least they're muted, but I was a little bit disappointed about that, and I thought, oh, do I cut the yarn one more time? Or I was like, oh well, whatever. I love the yarn and I love their colors, but the inconsistency of the striping is something you should probably take into account.
Yeah, and I have both, some for me and Sean.
Yeah. And you know what? I would knit with it again, but I just know that I can't be completely
not matchy socks.
Anally retentive about the whole thing. It's not a super soft yarn. It's a slightly scratchy yarn, kind of in the genre of opal or the Regia yarns. It's a solid yarn.
Yeah.
I believe it's a workhorse yarn. I don't quite know yet because I haven't worn them long enough. Like I've worn my Imprime Beige ones quite a bit, but not enough yet to tell you whether it's really a workhorse yarn or not. And these are called my Hermione, Where Are You socks.
No, Are You There?
Are You There? Hermione, Are You There? Mainly because the Hermione's everyday sock pattern is kind of lost on this yarn. I mean, I continued just because I didn't want to rip back again.
And it's easy.
And it's easy. I was like, oh well, but you really can barely see the pattern there. It creates a little bit of a texture. I think you can see it a little bit more on this lighter sock. But, yeah. So there you go. And I changed, I don't even know which direction that Hermione pattern is knit in, but it's a toe up.
No, I did a toe up according to the pattern.
Okay.
Like I didn't switch it around. It doesn't really matter.
No, it really doesn't matter.
Repeat,
you can do whatever you want, and you can do whatever kind of heel you want with that.
Still going to look the same.
Yeah. I did Wendy D. Johnson's basic gusset heel.
You like that one?
I've got it memorized, but I would like to memorize like a traditional heel flap.
And I do a short row.
I've got a couple of... I'm not a big fan of the short row fit.
For Sean, they work.
Mm-hmm.
I've done both short row and heel and cuff. Sorry.
I've come to realize that I prefer a gusset.
Gusset.
Because I've got fairly high arches, so I prefer a gusset, and I just feel like the sock goes on.
Feet, maybe.
Yeah,
that's why.
I wonder if that plays into the whole thing, is whether you've got high arches or
Fish lips kiss heel does not like it.
Right. But that's also a short row type of heel.
Yeah, but it's just not quite the same.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I would like to master the heel flap because I just find it a frustrating heel to knit, but I feel there are a couple of sock patterns that I want to knit that are top-down patterns.
Have you ever thought about the OMG by Megan?
No, I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Yep. I think I actually might have one of the patterns, so...
So my other FO, and I think that according to our friend Jen, who is Storm Coast, by the way, in case you wonder who in the
this is the Jen show.
Jen. Storm Coast on Ravelry and Instagram, and she has a podcast called The Uncreative Crafter. It's The Uncreative Crafter, right?
Yes.
So that's who we're talking about. She's a
People
lovely...
will probably know her better as Ozzy's mom.
Yeah. And she's not a Nazi in any way. Like, she's a lovely, like, we're making her sound like it's got to be finished.
I was like, why are we talking about Nazis all of a sudden?
I mean, a knitting Nazi. Yes. Not at all. She's a lovely, gentle person.
She's just very hard on herself about finishing things.
So,
to each their own.
So this is not Jen finished, if we're going to continue with that terminology.
In that theme.
Most of the ends are done,
the title.
But the button band is not done. This is the Deco cardigan.
It really, really looks good in that yarn.
Yeah, it looks great. Do I try it on?
It goes with what you're wearing if you want to be casual.
Sorry, Mousy, you're coming out for a moment. So it's most likely going to be something that I'm going to wear closed. And the bands on this are interesting because they are going to be, so there you go. That's essentially what it looks like. Mm-hmm. There's my sleeve. I changed the cuff on it, and I
saw the picture, I was like, did she make a mistake?
No, I did the original, what was expected, and I just didn't like it. And so I decided to do the ribbing that's done up here is a bit of a slip stitch style ribbing, and so I decided to do that on the sleeve. Originally it was actually this that was supposed to be on the sleeve, which is and I just didn't like the look of it on the cuff, so I just decided to do that, and there we go. It's kind of a short cropped cardigan, and it needs a little bit of blocking. And so the button band, there are no holes, and the button band's going to be a bit of work, so I'm actually probably not going to be doing this in the next week. It's probably going to be done once I'm back from Italy, because we leave for Italy next weekend. Yep. So I have to put ribbon on the inside, and there are actually snaps, and then there are buttons on the outside just for show.
So you don't need buttonholes or anything?
No. Mm-hmm. Some people did make buttonholes, but I like the idea that there would be no pulling if I were to close it, because I'm most likely going to be wearing this with my Harris tweed skirt, which, by the way, last week I realized I was calling it the Harrisville tweed skirt.
That's true.
It's the Harris tweed skirt. Harrisville Tweed is a yarn company in the United States. I was watching the episode after. I'm like,
you might have said it once or twice, but I was sure you'd said Harris Tweed at some point.
I think I finally corrected myself at the very end of the podcast, but I think I said it like funny. At least 2 or 3 times. Anyway, so I want to be able to wear it closed, because I think I'll be wearing it with that skirt next winter.
But you could also wear it just like casual, you know.
I could.
Like
I made it short.
Now,
I made it a bit short to go with, in a more, like with a skirt, or so that, because I find I have a couple of sweaters that are a little longer, and I don't love wearing them with skirts. I think with skirts you need something a little bit more cropped.
It's the look, right? It gives it that.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more of a polished look. And this is a design that is sort of 1930s inspired. And, you know, and the sweaters were short back then, definitely. Right? And I love that look. I think the 1930s is one of my favorite decades. The 1940s, they went a little wild on the shoulders and stuff. But the 1930s was kind of a more tapered version of the 1940s. So anyway, yeah, this is it. I'm very, very happy with it. I'm curious to see how the yarn wears. It's Joe Sharp Alpaca Kid Luster, and it's an alpaca mohair merino combination. I think it was a 2-ply, so I have a feeling this is going to be a bit of a pilly cardigan that I'll have to take a little bit of care.
It'll do well on your floor of the building, because Zero is so cold.
Oh, it's going to be very warm cardigan. And yeah, my floor tends to be really cold, and I'm often wearing a shawl. So once I get a chance to actually do the button band, which will most likely be in early June, I'll show it to you. Lynn is needing
scissors. Sorry.
All good.
You got it?
Yep.
So there you go. That was the 2 FOs. This is almost a real FO. It'll be wearable soon. But the thing is that now I'm finishing it. It's middle of May. We're having a cool and very wet spring. Oh. Like, we're having some serious flooding happening in the region.
Flooding.
Driving here, Lynn and I were like, whoa.
The highway, one lane of the highway was underwater, and it was creeping up on the other side, and we're like,
there were some houses.
Not driving this way again.
No, there were some houses near the river with sandbanks. They've clearly been really
several
quite affected.
Towns in the area have been evacuated. There's a sandbagging station near my house, actually, to make sandbags for the affected areas. Yeah, so I'm going to be grabbing the kids and heading out there later.
It's been a very, very wet and heavy rains. So anyway, all that to say, I probably still won't be wearing it any time this spring, because we're still in the 12-15 degrees.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I was outside in this. And
yeah, but
you'd be fine in a long sleeve shirt.
We're the opposites, because I'm often cold.
Selma well, no, maybe not.
What?
A light spring jacket probably would have been appropriate for a normal person.
Yeah, and I was wearing my leather jacket, which is my spring jacket, along with my exploration station, which I have decided is like the perfect size of a shawl. Perfect. I wear it all the time. I'm often cold in the evenings, and it's the exploration station that's around my shoulders, but it's also great for whipping around your neck. So
I have to admit, I'm envious. I like that one.
Yeah, no, well, you know what? I think you need to make it. Like, it's so...
The brioche scares me.
Oh, no.
But every new technique scares me until I try it.
He explains it so well. Like,
and there's videos, right?
He's got a 5-minute video, and once you watch it, you're like, oh, easy.
I can do that.
But it's a really good shawl for good coverage. It's great, honestly.
I do really like it. It's very pretty.
Actually, we were talking about the meterage on here, and I don't know. I think it's somewhere around 700.
Yeah, I said 6, but yeah.
Yeah, I think around 700. And my cardigan, I had 10 balls of the stuff that Holly gave me, the yarn. And there's about maybe half a ball left. But I think a little less than half, actually. So, I used up almost all the yarn. So those are my FOs.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So whips.
Whoop!
That hurt.
Whips.
Sorry. No scissors. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
That's the end of my my fade here, the green.
So, I'm going to put it in my crochet bag so that it turns into one. Do you want to whip along?
Oh, sure. Since I can't knit right now, my hand is sore. These are the BB-8 socks for my husband, and the reason they're called BB-8
I love that stuff.
is
It's gorgeous.
so
Such beautiful colors. I still, I think I need to.
Yeah.
I need to partake.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I think last episode, Sean and I took a look at all of his socks, and I'm like, I want to know, do you like everything about each sock? Like, we went through it, and so I'm knitting these on 2.75 millimeters, but when I get to the leg, he wants me to go smaller. So it's just a little bit...
I had to do that with
Yeah.
Alejandro's.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of decreases.
I mean, I've done the elastic at the top for him, sewn in the elastic, but it's just not quite enough.
Here.
Sorry.
This is where she was last week with the little dragonfly. Yep. Yes. So that's where she was last week.
Yeah, because I've been knitting on other things.
Since you can't reach.
Yeah. And so it's mustache yarn in the BB-8 colorway, and it's the OCD skeins where they're both separated exactly to make exactly matching.
So Gumi could learn something from them.
Yeah. Yeah, like it might be off like a stitch or two from the way I cast on, but he's not going to care or notice.
Selma was slightly put out.
Yep. And I've decided
slightly.
that the little pouch that I made a few of, that this one is mine now. I've decided to keep it.
It is a gorgeous fabric.
It just looks like Liberty fabric. From
I
London.
haven't put them in the shop yet because, you know, life.
Remind me about that Swedish fabric you like after the episode.
The finished fabric? The
Finish?
Marimekko?
Yes, finish, sorry.
Yes, please.
I will remind you after. Well, remind me after the episode because I found it. I found a store that carries it in Ottawa.
Rick. Oh, well, EQ3.
Oh, okay. You already knew about it. Never mind. Because I was on the market and I actually took a picture of the storefront with the fabric in it so I would remember to tell her about it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I know that exists. In fact, I went into that store. It's a furniture store, but they have Marimekko fabric and some cups and
household
things, and I bumped into a Finnish woman that I know from town. I'm like, and I think she travels to Finland all the time, so I'm not quite sure what she was doing there.
So the other thing I'm knitting is a new cast on because I got chosen by Shannon Cook to test knit. This,
awesome.
Really beautiful shawl.
Yeah, the Atman shawl, which is really cool because there's a secret Facebook group and I know
Facebook.
awesome. And so when I saw her post or her email, I can't remember which, I went digging through my yarn because I was like, it took me about half an hour, and I thought, oh, I'm too late. There's like hundreds of people that were ear burned, and she picked me. I'm one of them. It was kind of awesome.
She liked your color combination.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't have the other colors with me. They're over there. So this is what I've got done. Well, I'm almost at the end of a row. Oops. So this is what it looks like.
It looks so squishy and mushy and wonderful.
And I'm actually using the leftover yarn, which is a Knit Picks Swish DK. It's the same yarn that my calligraphy was knit out of. And so I had enough for the main color, which takes quite a bit.
I'm coveting already.
Yeah. And this is knit on, I'm doing it on 4.5 millimeters, which it didn't get me gauged, but I like the fabric, and Shannon knows that. So I will comment on the other parts of what she wants us to comment about. And then the edge, for the edge, she's got, you can see it's kind of like a ruffle. And she's working on the charts for that. And my plan is to actually only knit the ruffle edge from the chart. Look at me. And this is being housed in my ink bags that she sent to me because just a test. I use it all the time. And
It's
what I
an
like
awesome
is
bag.
I stick the yarn
When you
right
can
here,
see it.
and you can see the yarn.
You know what I like about it? I like the window, and I like the fact
fabric.
that but this is a cotton linen blend. I think,
very
or it's a
light.
linen. I don't think it's a pure linen blend. I think it's a cotton linen blend.
And I like the way
But
she did
it's
the
just
sewing, the edges there.
Beautiful bag.
And it's just a little, she tied it in a knot, a little bow, and it works perfect. I love this
Very
bag.
nicely
And the
made.
notions pouch that I got from her, I use
and
it.
even this detail with the side window
Mm-hmm.
and how it, there's a bit of fabric right there, and then the bow is right above it. Like it's very
It's
pretty.
detail. Yeah. Yeah, and the notions pouch that I got, I use it all the time because you can see through.
Very nice.
So that's a new cast on, which is a whip. And then I have another new cast on.
Have you been enjoying it?
Love it. But since
You're
the
making me
accident,
want one.
I can't knit for long periods of time. So I have to choose very wisely.
A question about that. Was it DK or was it worsted? I can't remember. DK. I'm starting to
Yeah, so I'm
scan
using
my,
She's
I'm
shopping her
scanning my stash.
Yeah, I have some blue from Blad Dye Works that I got that I made a
Ooh, I remember that.
The hat.
a hat out of. So that's going to be one of the other colors.
Oh,
and the other one is the
beautiful.
really light gray woolly Wonka. It's got silk. It's the third color, so the little tiny stripes. So it'll be nice.
But it's going to be very nice. You chose very nice colors.
Thank you. And the other thing I'm knitting on, which came out yesterday.
Oh, that's your the Shawl Society.
Yeah, I don't have the front page with me because I took only the pages I needed. So Helen Stewart's, the first shawl from the Shawl Society 2 is the Fairy Hill shawl, which she cleverly hid the name in the yarn that the wool barn dyed. Because the yarn's called Fairy Hill. So, my color expert here. I went through a few yarns and I was showing her on...
She kept sending me pictures of yarn that she was finding online.
And then
She's
she's
like,
like,
I could buy this one or this one or this
Yeah,
one or this
and
one or this one. And I'm like, stop buying yarn, woman! So I went
But you
through
had
her
this in your
stash.
stash.
I had this in my stash, but you didn't see it because it's not actually in Ravelry. But
Yes.
what I wanted to use was the Art by Anna, which has similar colors, but
But it's very close to what I was showing you in your
couldn't
stash.
really find it. So I found this one, and this
That's
was
okay.
bought in Texas. And so this is called...
That's a fun memory then.
So this is basically, I had 2 skeins with me, and at the cash I said to the lady, I can only buy one. Which one? And so she chose this one, which I think will be really nice. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see the detail.
Probably not until...
There you go.
There you go.
So yeah, it's...
Like Grey Walls, the rescue.
I started it on Thursday night, so I think that's pretty good progress for me. And lace did not make one mistake. Because
Cool.
the pattern that she chose for this lace is just like, you're just zinging through it.
And I like the way Helen Stewart, I like the way she lays out her pattern.
Well, yeah, because...
It couldn't be more kind of like, anybody could follow her patterns. They're just so straightforward.
Every line tells you how many stitches you're supposed to have and what percentage you are in the shawl. And so I reached, I think, 10%.
Woohoo!
So, and most of the right side and wrong side are the same pattern, and then every so often it's the lace that she
That came
throws in.
close.
Sorry.
She lifted her arm and it was like...
Yeah, it's really nice. And so the yarn, so this is the red one that you can see in the cake. And then the Fairy Hill.
I think those will go beautifully together.
Yeah, and I didn't want this to be the first color because I don't think this does me any justice.
Well, and it really would have been lost in the lace. Like, the really prettiness of the yarn would have been lost.
Yeah, like people have done it.
But the edge, I think, is going to be perfect in that.
People have done it, so you can see.
Because it does pick up some of the speckle colors.
And then here's the edge, which is why I think I want it to be the edge, because it's with a gray, and look at the edge on that.
You don't leave your ends in. They get caught in your knitting.
So that, is that my last one? Yep.
What's that bag?
That is stash.
Okay. Your bag.
Yeah, my bag is the one from Moira, who is knitting in stitches. And she sent us along each one of these with a needle holder, and the needle holder is in my scrappy blanket.
I have to pick that up again, the project that's in that bag.
And it's so
Love
funny
it.
because just this morning I was like, oh, I need to take next pair of socks is going to be in Moira's bag.
I love this bag. It's like the perfect size. I have 2 balls of yarn in here.
Yeah, it's great.
You know?
Well, that, and it's like the quintessential Canadian.
It's Anne Green Gables. Like,
I haven't started watching the new
what
series
Canadian
yet.
girl does not like Anne of Green Gables?
I haven't started watching the new series
I
yet
haven't.
because I'm still vastly enamored of the Kevin Sullivan series that was on TV when I was a child.
I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
You want to go?
Sure, I'm done a row. So
Good,
I just picked this
'cause
up today, and actually my little Dicky Doo is not in the right place because I actually haven't touched this since you guys saw it last. It was up. I've got maybe 2 rows done today.
That's a good name.
That's what Sarah
Sarah.
calls them.
Dicky Doos.
So, this
Sarah,
is
hello.
my afterthought everything socks that I'm just kind of making up on the fly. I'm not actually following the pattern.
But the pattern is kind of genius.
It's pretty straightforward. I mean, she doesn't charge a lot for her pattern because it's so straightforward. So I would highly recommend buying the pattern because I've had to figure a couple of things out for myself that were a little frustrating. So I would buy the pattern. And I intend to buy the pattern someday when I have disposable income again. So this is the Afterthought Everything Socks by Erica Broughton Kemp, I think. It's not on there because I didn't mention it.
Oh, sorry.
Erica Broughton Kemp is the designer. I remembered that all by myself.
Wow.
Cool.
I couldn't remember a sentence. I had to get Sean to tell me.
That's okay. So I've basically the cuffs, heels, and toes are a random, very scritchy wool sock yarn that somebody gave me years ago.
Which will work well on toes.
I'm thinking
and
it's probably some kind of Regia or something like that. Probably not Regia, but
similar.
Sort of Regia type
Like a
knockoff.
Sirdar, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe. But it's scritchy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having
that's
trouble with
gonna-
everything
yeah,
today. My hands are really itchy today.
Yeah, but I really like the color. Remember last time?
Yeah,
really
I like the contrast between the coral and the blue. And the blue is Juliana's Fiber, Lucid Dream sock in the Luna colorway. I had knit a shawl out of this and frogged it.
It's nicer in the socks.
It's so pretty in the socks.
It really is.
The shawl was unfortunate because the designer told me this when I was test knitting for her. She was like, I think that yarn might be a little busy for the pattern. I was like, no, it'll be fine. She was right. It was too busy for the pattern. So the pattern got completely lost in this colorway, but look at how beautiful that is.
It is.
And so that is knit
How'd you
on 2.5 millimeters,
No, there's a gauge there. if
which
you
is a
actually
US
need it.
1.5. No, I'll
Yeah.
brain power has not been at its highest this week. It's been a week.
Excuse me.
I'm like, please show what you're doing.
Well, we can see she's not peeing.
Unless I had some very interesting methods.
These new chairs
Sorry.
are awesome.
So what'd you make? What'd you make?
Which tea? I forgot to bring the package. This is actually a tea from Toronto.
Ooh, nice.
It's a very nice shop that I really love, and I've shopped there for years. It's Tealish. They used to be on Queen Street West, but they are now located a 2-minute walk from my friend Dana's house where I stayed. So
One of a few things I missed by not being there.
yeah, and so Friday morning I went, and this is their toasty almond tea, and
It's got a little bit of cinnamony
it smells
smell
like,
to
and
it,
there are apple
and
pieces in it.
caramelly, and it smells amazing.
It's very nice, and I'm like, we've bought at least this tea at least 2 or 3 times, I would say, in the past. So,
But going into the store must be nice, right? Because normally you order it online.
well, it depends. I used to go to Toronto a lot more than I have in the last couple of years. So in the last couple of years, I bought online. But before, we would always go onto Queen Street West because that's where Romney is, the big wool store.
Another thing I missed.
And the
we will have
Tealish
other
was.
opportunities to
Oh,
go
I
to
know.
Toronto.
We will go to Toronto. We
Yeah,
will
I want to go by
Toronto.
train.
Train is very nice. Very nice. It was very pleasant. Flying in with Porter, which flies right into downtown. That
Right
was an
on the water.
interesting experience. I think the girl next to me and I were both kind of like, what's going on?
Because if you're looking out the windows, you think you're going to hit the lake before you hit the runway.
Well, the pilot missed the first possibility. He's like, conditions weren't right, so
it does get very windy when you get down close to the lakefront.
Yeah, and the rain started like 20 minutes later, so that was, the winds were just picking up. Like, I took a picture of Toronto just as we were coming in, and it was great, and then suddenly we went, and then I was like, that was a bit intense. And he couldn't land, and we ended up flying around because, of course, he's not the only one landing, right? So then he had to wait, and we flew around for about 20 minutes out around the water.
Hence the reason they have extra gas.
Yeah. So, and even then, the landing is at Billy Bishop right in downtown Toronto is never very smooth, ever.
No. A lot of their pilots are ex-military, and they tend to land a lot rougher than commercial pilots.
Yeah, and I think it's a very short landing strip.
Yes, it is a very short landing strip, and they've been applying to get permission to build an extension onto the landing strip, and they haven't got it yet, so.
Yeah, so it's a great, easy way to get you right in downtown Toronto, but not the most pleasant flying experience. Mm-hmm. A little on the intense side.
I will admit there have been a couple of times, because I always fly Porter, always. And when I go to Rob's, every flight goes through Toronto, so I always land in Toronto. And there have been a couple of times where the plane's kind of going like this as it's about to hit down, and it's a little nerve-wracking, but so far they've never dumped us in the drink.
Nope.
It's smaller planes, right?
They're smaller, and they have the, whatchamacallits?
The props.
Yeah, I just remember when I booked for one of the staff members, the amount of seats. It's not like a big plane.
No, there's only 50
planes.
seats to a plane. Yeah. And there's no first class or anything like that, so.
Yeah, so, the girl and I, we were like, let's go. I'm like, okay, everybody else is calm, so I'm just going to remain calm. I'm going to remain calm. And she was getting a little nervous. I'm like, no, we can be calm. Nothing's going wrong. He's just circling.
I apparently once freaked out a 3-year-old to the point of him being in tears and screaming because he thought I had died on the plane because I was sleeping through the turbulence. Oh! And he was convinced I was dead, and he was just screaming, and that's what woke me up finally. And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But yeah, it was really bumpy turbulence, and I had fallen asleep. So
he must have been an anxious flyer himself.
What else you knitting?
Oh yeah, me.
Yeah, let me finish the square. I'm trying to finish the square.
The other thing I'm knitting on, and isn't this cute?
So small.
It's so adorable.
There's a lot of needles here because I put my sleeves stitches on circulars rather than putting them on waist yarn, just because I didn't feel like going to find waist yarn at the time. But this is a test knit that I'm doing for Cheryl Wortman, who is Caw Designs in PEI, and this is her baby cardigan zigzag lace.
Hey, our PEI friends are getting mentioned today.
Yes. So I finished the first part, and now I have to go in with a different color of yarn and start the lace. So that's why I have not done that yet, because I didn't want to try to follow a chart on camera.
Is that the other color?
Yes, this is the other color.
Oh, that's going to go so nice.
I tend to like non-traditional baby colors, like that stuff that you wouldn't necessarily normally make baby clothes out of. This is actually a leftover from my son's flax that I knit him. So this one is Patton's Canadiana in the timber colorway. This one is Patton's Decor in the Sandcastle colorway, and I had actually made Wyatt a flax out of this one. So this is 2 leftovers from flaxes.
Nice.
So that's going to be the little baby sweater, and it's so cute. And I'm really liking the way it's knitting up. The other reason I hadn't started the lace was that Cheryl had changed the lace section since the first time she sent me the pattern, and my printer's not working. So I sent it to Sue, and she printed it out for me.
What size needles? Did you say that?
Nope. This is 4.5 millimeter, which is US 7. And these are my favorite.
Keep you gals on track.
You do!
I have to admit, I normally don't like these needles. Where's the other side? Here it is. Well, because I have 6 ends here.
I know.
I normally don't like these needles. I don't like their straights. I don't like their DPNs.
But they work well with that yarn.
This one set of circulars, I love. They are my favorite circs of all. These are boy needles from Michaels.
Yeah, but none of the other ones you like.
I don't like their straights. I don't like their DPNs. I don't have any of their other circulars.
So don't sell them anymore at Walmart.
They were Michaels. I bought them at Michaels. I don't know if they still have. They've got mostly Clover. At least the Michaels here is mostly Clover stuff now.
Not for crochet?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't use their crochet stuff, so.
You're finished.
I've got 2 really good sets of crochet needles, so why would I buy boys? But I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to needles. I like my chow goose. I like my Hiya-Hiyas. But this one set of boys, I mean, look at how pointy these are. And that's a size 7.
I took all the finish off my Hiya-Hiya Cirque, so I have to buy some more Addies.
I love
because when you take the finish off, it does not slide.
Why did you take the finish off?
Just from my hands.
She rubbed it off as she knit.
Yeah, but the Addies don't do that.
Huh. That is living in my gorgeous tulip bag from Mandy Pinecone, nice. Mandy Pinecone Crafts podcast. And I forgot to mention my socks are living in my little Artbiana farm animals bag with my little sushi needle minder that Mandy made me.
It's so cute. So cute.
They're flannel too, so they're really squishy. Like them.
We ended up naming a podcast episode. Remember?
Yes.
You can pet my sushi.
There's a little pouch they made.
She and Brandy created this little pouch that you can hook right onto the back of your project, your sock blanket, that will hold a mini while you're knitting. So I thought that was pretty brilliant. And that's the same sushi fabric. That's what I'm working on. Since we went on a 10-minute tangent in the middle of that.
Well, that's what we do, right?
Mm-hmm. It's Selma's turn.
And I'm often the cause of the tangents, I think.
People don't seem to mind, and I've kind of come to the habit of, like, I can't...
It's not just you, trust me.
I don't watch the minutes anymore. Just people tell us to blabber, and you went, okay, just don't watch the minutes. So I don't look at the minutes anymore.
I think the last time it was a bit of a record breaker.
It was almost 2 hours.
Sorry. Not sorry. Whatever.
Hey, take a lunch break in the middle. Whatever.
So, the last time I was here, I had finished a row. I have not finished a row this time. I'm for
Let's show the front side this time. So that's the back.
No, this is the front.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
With the seams? Because your seams are... Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
all
it's
right.
the way that I'm doing it.
But look, this side is flat.
That's why I thought that was the front, because that's how I usually do mine.
No, this is the front.
Okay.
Because it's not seams. I'm crocheting it on at the same time.
Yeah, well, that's what I do, but I always put the seam for that on the back, like the lumpy part.
Huh. Interesting.
Anyway.
To each their own.
I'm on the next row, which has...
The blanket's
all
getting
tangled
big.
up. I'm gonna have to
legs.
I'm gonna have to put it on a bed and figure out how much more I really actually have to do. But so this next row's got some Baronvola. Oh darn. What was the colorway? It was a great name. Goth Punk or something like that. I can't remember what this one was called. This
wasn't that the Bad Ballerina or something like that? Or?
No, it was something to do with punk.
Okay.
I can't remember. I don't remember what this yarn is. I don't remember what that yarn... Oh, this is... no, I don't remember. This is the yarn that Holly gave us. This is...
yeah, that's the...
Manos del Uruguay,
the Christmas
Alegria. One. I think... And this is the Tanis Fiber Arts... her cashmere MCN base that I used in my exploration station.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember what this is. Do you remember what this is?
No.
I feel like you gave that to me.
I did, but I don't remember the name of it.
So there you go. That's what I've got so far. It's really fun. Last night, once a month, we go over to friend's place. Our daughters are friends. Yeah. And we watch a movie. We actually made a list of movies that we wanted to see, and we cut up the names, and we pick one once a month.
That's kind of awesome.
So last night we ended up watching Babette's Feast, which is...
Oh, I love that movie.
It is, I think it's actually one of my favorite movies. It came out in the 90s, and I remember when I saw it, and I just absolutely loved it. Oof. And everybody last night was like, that was really good. It's a very well told, very clean movie in terms of like just well told, simply told, good story.
No fluff.
Sorry.
No fluff, no wasted energy. It's a Danish movie, so it's in Danish with subtitles, and about this Lutheran village in Denmark, and it really reminds me of my family in Finland because my grandmother was a very devout Lutheran.
So I can download it or something.
So there's just something that's very similar, and I just love it.
That one.
This is the mohair that I made my wisp in. Yeah. So anyway.
Cool.
There we went off on another little tangent, but I was knitting the squares last night, which is what I was trying to say.
She's writing a note for me because I will not remember.
All right.
What else?
So
I can't wait to see the next one. The mauve along. Did you bring it?
Oh yes, there it is. I couldn't see it for a moment.
And it's in the mauve bag. Is that the same one you sent Kristen?
Yeah.
Ah.
So
Thank you.
I've been wanting to knit the Summer Tide by Helen Stewart. So the pattern layout is the same as yours. It's very, like really well laid out with percentages.
Yeah, because
the Summer Tide was also a mystery along. So I just finished clue number 1 and I've started clue number 2.
do you know what it looks like?
Oh yeah, because this is not a mystery anymore. This was a mystery.
Well, what I like about it is I'll do a few rows and then count. And if I don't have the count right, maybe I'll pull back. But I don't tend to count every row.
It was originally made as a 2-tone shawl. I had thought about making it as a 1-color shawl in cream. I had seen somebody, Olivia of This Handmade Life, I think is her name, on Ravelry and Instagram. She had made a cream-colored one, and I was like, okay, I want to make a cream-colored one. And then I started sort of doubting my decision. And then when Kristen of Yarngasm suggested that she was going to do a mauve along, I was like, oh, I've got some mauve.
That's one of your colors.
That's a great idea. And she's also doing a Curious Handmade along, which is Helen Stewart. So I'm going to try and finish this in the month of May, and I can put it into 2 of her cows.
I like the name you called your project. The Curious Mauve Summertide.
Actually, I think I called it Curiously Mauve.
Oh,
Yes.
Curiously Mauve, sorry.
Curiously Mauve. So, here's the color. This is actually periwinkle sheep that I bought 2 skeins of at Rhinebeck last time we were there. And this is what it looks like so far. The first part, which is essentially a garter.
Pretty close to color.
Looks very indigo-y.
Well, it's kind of like this purple with gray in it, and when Kristen defined mauve, because I was like, how do you define mauve? What's mauve?
Yeah, everybody has a different idea.
And
what
she
mauve
said
is.
it's a purple that has some brown or some gray in it. And I thought, well, if that's the definition,
then this is it.
this works.
That's a very dark mauve, but yes, I think that counts as mauve. And I'm sorry, Americans, it's mauve, not mauve.
Yeah, to me, mauve is a little lighter than that.
So
but yeah.
as you can see down here, I just started the next section, which is going into the lace patterning. And so far so good. I started it on May 1st, so I've been knitting on it this week. And so far so good. So far I love it. And hopefully it'll all go well. I'm knitting on 4mm needles. I think these are Chow-Goos. I like
They look like
Chow-Goos.
Chow-Goos, yeah.
Yeah. And it's in a bag that I made a while ago.
That's one of my favorites.
I love this
made.
fabric, and I've got a whole bunch of it. I just got to get around to actually making more bags, in case anybody wants one.
Pretty.
There we go. That's all I'm working on.
Woohoo!
Did we just finish the whip section?
We did. Progress! On to the boob tube.
A new one that I watched a couple episodes, which is one that Jen suggested. Jen again. What Shara Made podcast, which I thought was really, I like the way it's like, it's simple. I really like that. And I need to mention some of the other ones I've been like addicted to and just like can't wait till the next episode comes, is Kingfisher Knits, which is Madeline Windsor. And I think she just posted episode number 3.
Yeah, I watched it as well. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, and speaking of her, she sent us all those patterns, and she also wants to give some away.
Cool.
So I'll probably think about that for the next episode.
Do you have the patterns to show?
I don't have the patterns to
I
show.
only printed out one of them.
Well, that's one of them. The Patronus?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other 2, I think, weren't they baby?
They were baby sweaters, so we'll have to show those at some point because they're adorable, especially for the baby knitters in the group. Lynn?
Mm-hmm. It's not my fault everybody around me is breeding.
And then there's also Woolly Wolverine with Laura from Ireland. Absolutely love her. She's adorable. She's the one who I told you made all the ducks. Or sorry, ducks.
I don't remember.
Chicks, ducks. Anyway,
Right.
she made
Easter.
a whole like
Easter
20 of them knitted, and they're so cute. And she mentioned me. Ooh. Thank you for mentioning me and thinking about my recovery. Knitterarium, which that's your fault. I love Ruth.
I know.
She's so much fun. Watched this yet.
Oh, Celtic Knits.
You will like her.
Absolutely adore. And the hair. Love the hair. Pink hair.
Yes.
And it really suits her. And she's having her first giveaway. So it's an ebook, and that's all I'll say.
I have to admit, I really want to make her Darcy socks.
I know.
Darcy?
Yeah.
As in Darcy from Pride and Prejudice?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she's having her first giveaway, so go check that out. It's an ebook. And the last one is Sam. Hand Me My Knitting from BC.
I had missed one of her episodes. It hadn't popped up in my subscriptions.
Kind of awesome.
So I watched episode 5 and I was like, wait a minute.
No.
I don't remember having seen episode 4.
I'm
So
having
I
a
went
hard
back
time.
and watched it.
I'm having a hard time keeping up with everyone.
Well, episode 5 was a little bit delayed due to, I think she said, like, there was Easter
Parents
and family
visiting
and parents and
yeah.
stuff. And then she just announced, I think on Instagram, that it's going to be every 3 to 4 weeks now due to life.
Yeah, because she's got 3 kids and they're not, you know, her
they're
youngest
young.
is pretty young. And
They're young, and it's the time of the year when she wants to be outside. And
yeah, the hiking video from the last one, I'm so envious.
every picture she shows that's BC
Says
nature.
the girl who lives on the edge of Gatineau Park.
I show Sean, and I don't even have to tell him. He says he knows exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Because he's from there. And he's like, it's just, Like, when we watch movies, he'll be like, that's Vancouver, but that's not what's in front of that park.
Rob does that with Chicago.
Yeah, so.
Yeah,
anyways,
manipulate things.
those
Never watch
four-
a movie set in Chicago with Rob. Never.
Yeah.
Note to self.
Yeah, so check out those podcasts if you haven't already. I really like them.
Cool.
Because I've been watching nothing but shows for a week.
Rob has apparently cheesed off entire movie theaters. He went to see Risky Business in the theater, and Risky Business was filmed in the area, these suburbs of Chicago, and one of which he grew up in. So he's watching this, and at one point they're going for ice cream, but they go under this tunnel, which is in downtown Chicago, and they come out in Evanston, which is like an hour and a half away, or 40 minutes away. And he's like, nobody from this place would go for ice cream there. And the whole theater's like, shut up! Rob has very poor impulse control when watching movies.
Watching movies with Rob is interesting.
He likes to comment.
I can't watch...
Don't say you haven't seen something.
I can't watch stuff he's seen that I haven't with him.
I told him I like Jason Statham. Well, did you see this one and this one? Oh, well, we have to watch them all right now.
Yep. Well, to be fair, those are pretty awesome movies.
They are. Anyways.
That's hilarious.
Tangent.
Well, and we've both
Well, it
just
was
finished
refreshing here.
the 2 seasons of Outlander, right? You watched the entire Outlander?
She's wondering where this speck
Sorry,
of
there's
light is
this
coming
little
from.
laser dot of light in my yarn ball, and I can't figure out where it's coming from.
Oh, you're
See?
right.
Yeah, and I don't know where it's coming from. Like, what direction? Oh,
It's
that
from
way.
over there.
And you know what? It must be
Yeah.
be boomeranging off
God,
the
we're
edge of
easily
your...
distracted.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just finished Outlander 2.
Yeah, and I started the books, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be skipping ahead until the part where she discovers something, and that's where the season ended. So I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, I've just ordered the 3rd book. I think I want to read it before I watch the season.
do you think it's 1 book per season?
And
It
we've
is.
Well,
reached
now.
sticky hand time.
So, yeah. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
and I have to be honest, I
have all
watched
7
episode
books.
1 again. You know what? I'll talk about this in the acquisition section, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next
'Cause
section.
it's related to Outlander.
So the 2017 Travel the World by Design Cal. Our second quarter is Europe. And people are going crazy.
And I actually knit the deco because it's a Kate Davies design from Scotland, and I thought, well, that fits Europe, and so does our Helen Stewart knitting fits
I'm the
Europe
only one
as
who hasn't
well.
passed on yet.
Well, I was supposed to do the Decemberist, but when Shannon chose me, I was like, all other knitting is going on the wayside.
Shannon's Canadian, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but your Curious Handmaid's British.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
And
I got nothing.
I want to knit all 6 shawls this time. So that'll be something.
Yeah.
Whether I can do it.
And it'll be great lace experience.
Exactly. I got through a lace section with no mistakes. Like I was saying, I was sitting with Sean, and I'm like, he's like, who knew? You get in an accident, you can knit lace. Don't do it again.
some sort of a switch went off or on or
yeah,
something.
you don't need to do that again to learn a new technique.
No, please.
But, you know, because he's trying to make light of it because I've been stuck in the house for a week.
Yeah, he was like, she's going a little stir crazy.
Yeah, he wouldn't let me go grocery shopping because I'd be one of those ones that usually pisses him off because they're too slow or they're blocking the lane.
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
You could use one of those little cart things.
I know.
You don't want Sue. No, maybe that's not a good idea.
Anyways.
I could just see her going all...
Oh no, we're still in cows. So, back to the Travel the World by Design Cal.
Oh. Wow. Oh, that hurts to laugh.
Oh. Join us, guys. Join us.
Lynn's beside herself. When she covers her mouth,
I got nothing.
you know.
We've also got the brown bag sock club going as well.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No.
All I can say is I have too many things in my queue now from both of those knit-alongs.
Yeah, lots of great things that people are knitting, and I'm just, it's amazing.
Well, in the
all
travel
different
one,
types
it's
of
like
things.
these designers I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, and all over the place too. I mean, I feel like I'm the one knitting the quintessential countries. Everybody else is choosing things from all over the place, and designers that I've never heard of, and it's great. So check it out.
Yep.
Join us if you happen to be knitting something by a European designer. Show it up. Put it in the not show it up, but what am I
Put it
trying
in
to
the
say?
thread.
Put it in the thread. There you
Well,
go.
finish it first, then put it in.
Yes.
Or put it in the chatter thread if it's not
Yeah.
done. I love looking at the stuff mid.
Yeah.
There's somebody's sweater I saw the other day, and God, I can't remember her name. It's a purple sweater. It's got like design right here. It's like one of the last ones that was uploaded in the finish.
We'll look after.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, after this section is Flash the Stash.
All right.
You have some and I have some.
Flash. Sorry.
Do you want to go first?
I haven't had
You want me to
nearly
go
enough
first?
caffeine
I can go
today
first. I don't have too much.
yet. I got none, so...
Sorry. Reach. Okay, so there's
So
this.
she didn't come to Frolic, but she still got stuff.
Yes.
Did.
From
Well, she kind of went a little crazy after.
Yeah.
Oh, you have no idea.
I have some idea.
I have a feeling that Shella did the same thing. I have a
Yes,
feeling you guys
she
went
did.
a little crazy.
There needed to be some
That's
retail
good.
therapy after all
So
that.
before I even
Absolutely.
got there, I bought some Cozy Knitter because she was at the Knitters Guild, and so Ramona
Firehorse on Instagram and Ravelry.
picked this one up for me because I've been wanting the gingerbread from Jinx Yarn. I can never get it, and I thought this one is quite lovely.
Oh, and
It's
these are actually
gingerbread.
kind of more your colors.
They are. So I wanted that one, and then she
That's
showed
Gingerbread House, by the way.
sorry, Gingerbread House. And then she showed me this one, which the proceeds go to Stephanie Pearl McPhee.
Oh, to the
Yes.
bike relay.
Yes,
Yes,
so-
the relay for AIDS.
It's Friends for Life,
That's awesome.
and that just makes me so happy.
And actually Christina, who is the dyer behind the Cozy Knitter, she was knitting this. We went out she was one of the people that was out for dinner with us on Thursday, and she was making
Beautiful.
socks out of this, and it's really beautiful. I sort of regretted not partaking in that.
And it's called Bliss. That's
Thank
the base.
you.
Bliss is the
And
base.
and I may or may not have signed up for her Yarn of the Month club.
Yeah.
That's
Just
a
a
good
little
idea,
detail there.
actually.
You can cancel any time, and she had an opening, so I was like, me please.
Mm-hmm.
And then the very lovely Catherine from Zigzag Stitches contacted me after she saw on Instagram that I didn't make it, and I got this really big.
It's
You want
awesome.
to put it closer? I can't. Really big box bag. She sent me some to choose from, and
little bicycle.
there's little cats. It's the cats that got me.
Didn't even notice the cats until you
There are
said
cats
that.
on the bicycles
I know.
and tulips, and we're in tulip season.
Yeah.
They don't all drown.
It's so not me, but I loved it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Her bags are really well made, and I had thought to buy one, and in the end, I didn't. I ended up buying a
You
Buka
should.
bag. I know. Now I'm like,
I've
Her
got at
bags
least
are
one
so
of her
well
bags.
made.
I
They're
love
really
her bags.
nice. I love it.
I don't have a box bag though.
and that's huge. Like that's practically a sweater size.
Oh, this definitely. And then the inside is this beautiful gray,
polka dots.
but the best part, let me get this thing out of there because this is something else, is the pocket. Look at the pocket.
That's great.
It's a sushi box.
It is.
That's
and then
awesome.
she sent along something for Shella. Shella knows she's getting this. She was so nice.
That's nice.
She was like, for me? I'm like, yep. And then Into It Knit sent me, because she contacted me and said, I'd like to send you something to cheer you up. And it's a sushi wallet felting kit.
Oh, that is awesome.
And it's
in a little sushi box.
It's in a sushi box. And it's everything you need with designs on the back to choose from, or just wing it.
That is awesome.
Is that not cute? And then she sent me one of her shawl pins. Green, of course. It's very light.
Yeah, they're really nice.
And the other thing, which is really cute, is a pair of earrings, and they're bicycles. Here, thank you. And this card, which I thought was adorable.
Sorry. Try to cover up people's faces so you can see them. There you go.
And then this card, which has socks on it. And I need to go find what website those are on and buy some.
I don't know why I can't hold things straight today.
Yeah, they're unraveled ink. It's from the States, but I'm just like,
Crown Mountain
where
Farms.
did you get those? I need those.
Yeah,
I thought it was really
Sherman's
cute.
card maker.
I don't. All my card stuff is packed because I needed a place to put fabric.
Fiber,
The other
fabric,
thing
card
is those
making
two things right there. So I'm part of a group on Facebook and a newsletter for, it's called Trim Healthy Mama. I have their weight loss books and their cookbooks, and I was chatting with them at some point, and one of the girls, I can't remember why, she's like, I want to send, one of the customer service reps is like, we were chatting about something, I think it was after the accident, and she's like, I want to send you,
Oh, that's a snap.
yeah, I want to send you a pick-me-up. So it's got one of those stirry things in it.
Oh.
And so that is for the straw when you're not using it.
Oh.
Yeah. So this snaps, or it snaps here.
That's a gigantic bottle.
It's huge. And it's glass, and it, like I said, it's got one of those stirry things in it.
very nice.
Yeah. And then some aromatherapy spray.
Which is a citrusy smell. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm. And an acquisition that I don't have because I literally just purchased it before the podcast is Disa of Disa's Craftwork. On Instagram was posting that she naturally dyed some yarns and she was trying to sell them because she has some vet bills. I may have bought one of the pictures, all the yarn in the pictures.
Yeah, I was in conversation with Disa. I guess I'm not getting any yarn now.
Well, there are other...
Because there's none left to bought it all.
No, I just bought...
Actually, she had two other pictures of yarn as well. And the middle picture, well, when I was looking on her
Instagram
profile, was sort of very light, beigey, pinky.
Oh yeah, I
thing,
saw
and
that
I was
one.
like,
Because that's not your color at all.
No, but you know what? I go through phases, and I don't want to end up with too much of one thing, so I'll have to examine that. But
It doesn't
she
mean to
also
say
had
I'm
some
going to keep
yellows.
it all myself. It's 7 skeins, 50 grams each. So I'm just trying
do you
to
know
help.
what weight they are?
No.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're interested, Disa's Craftwork. She was actually the second podcaster I started watching. The first one was a woman from Iceland who stopped podcasting. And then I found Disa, and I'm not even 100% sure how I found you, Disa.
Yeah, Leonie, her dog, is ill. And so that's why she's trying to raise some funds to cover the vet bills, because we all know what those can be, those of us who have animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I did ask permission to mention this on the podcast.
Oh, we love Disa.
Because I was like, I want them all. She's like, wait, what? So that's the stash and the stash that I don't have.
So as I said, I didn't buy a zigzag stitches bag because I ended up buying a buku bag instead. Buku is a Toronto-based, so she prints her fabric.
Oh, I didn't know they were in Toronto.
Yeah, she's in Toronto. I have another pouch that you may remember seeing that I put socks in. Sometimes it's kind of a beige with polka dots on it, and I also have another smaller pouch of hers that I use for makeup. I love her work, and it's spelled Bookhoou. I don't know if you can see that. in there. It's just very...
Sorry, I was reading the knitting on the side of the bag and I was like, look, I knit two together.
Yeah, so I really love her stuff. This is like a tote that you could just, carry on your arm or use as a project bag. Very simple, kind of a round bottom.
Very nice.
And it's sort of a thick canvas. There's a little bit of interfacing in there. So I bought that at the Frolic. And it's carrying everything that I got at the Frolic. My intention, as you know, was to... What?
Is it convenient?
Very convenient. And this is all I got.
So you were strict.
I was pretty good. I had been thinking about a vest quantity, and that's what I got at Romney. So when I went on Friday...
Now, did you buy the tote bag and then fill it up, or did you buy the stuff and then just happen to find a tote bag that it fit in?
I happened to find the tote bag. I was like, look, everything fits in there.
I was going to say, I would buy a tote bag and go, I could only buy this much.
And it's got leather straps. I had been eyeing these bags online for quite a while, so when I saw them, I was like,
that's a sign.
That's it. I gotta buy one of these. So on Friday, I was walking around, and after I went to the gallery and I found out that you guys weren't coming, I was like, okay, well then I'm just gonna make my way over to Romney, because we had thought that either we would go there right when you guys got to Toronto, or we'd relax for a while and then go before we went out for dinner. I ended up cancelling the dinner. But I went to Romney thinking that I was looking for a sweater quantity. Not a sweater quantity, I was looking for a vest quantity, because I think it's in episode 1 of season 2 in Outlander. She's wearing a vest with a simple skirt.
Oh, yes.
She's wearing a gray vest that has some cabling here and there. Simple cabling. Okay?
I have no idea.
And I was just like, I think I want a vest like that for my skirt.
There was a lot of knitted garments.
A lot of knitted garments. And actually in Babette's Feast, there's a lot of knitted garments.
Did we see anybody actually knitting?
No.
Okay.
But in Babette's Feast, there's a lot of knitting happening. Anyway, so I ended up buying...
Ooh,
how many did I get? 5 balls of this Rowan felted tweed. I believe it's the Celadon colorway. It's the 184. And it's this green tweedy yarn.
That's kind of graying it out a bit. It's
a little greener than that. It's a little bit more green than that.
It's a very sagey green.
And in my Harris tweed skirt, as you know, Harris tweed usually has tweed generally usually has a lot of different colors going through it,
ups and stuff.
And so there's just practically this exact same kind of green in the woven fabric. So I'm planning on making a simple vest, a bit like my turquoise vest, but not that stitch.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll do something a little different.
I want to see. If we actually get it closer to the gray, yeah, that's closer to the real color. And if we got 2 up there, we could give you Mickey Mouse ears. I haven't had nearly enough caffeine.
Do we need to do it?
No, I don't think so.
So I've got that. That's what I bought at Romney. Now
I am amazed that you walked out of there, because from what I've heard, if you go into the basement sale, you're done.
I had more yarn in my basket.
Okay.
I had an entire sweater quantity.
Okay. So you had stuff, but you just decided.
And I walked around and I was like, I can feel this heaviness in my chest.
Not excitement.
No, just kind of like, I'm going to be weighted down by this. I really only need a vest quantity. I'm going to put this back. And I did. And it was cheap Rowan yarn, but it was from the basement.
It's amazing self-restraint.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I was like, you know what? This just feels better. I don't want to just accumulate yarn just to accumulate
yarn. Just for the sake of accumulating.
I'll do that for you.
We go through phases, right?
Yarn
but
diet,
right now, I'm in a phase where if I'm going to buy yarn, there needs to be a purpose. I'm not just going to buy yarn. So this had a purpose. The other sweater, or the other yarn, I was like, I can't think of what I will make with this, so therefore I'm not buying it. That's that. So when I got to Frolic, one of the first people I saw was Ramona Firehorse, and she had just finished a shawl that we wanted to see. It's called the Red Sky shawl.
Did she have it on?
She had it on. She made it in a gradient by Blue Brick Yarns, which is a Toronto-based dyer who does gradients. I've been wanting a gradient for quite a while, and I never seem to see a gradient that's calling my name. I saw
Yes, you weren't with us at Twist.
No.
They were at Twist.
And I've seen them at Rhinebeck. I've not her, but I've seen gradients at Rhinebeck. I've seen gradients at EYF.
I maybe just bought a gradient from Red Sock, Blue Sock yarn.
Oh, does she make gradients too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. See? But I've never seen one that just says, you need to buy me. Oops. So when I saw Ramona's shawl, I was like, the yarn's really beautiful. And she said, well, I bought it from,
So-and-so. So was it a one skein or like a kit?
So...
Oh, it's dyed gradient, not different skeins.
No,
making
the whole
gradient.
skein is dyed a gradient.
It's like our
So
banana.
this is the blue brick. There is the...
Did you not have yarn from them before?
Nope.
That was Sarah.
Not me.
At Twist.
Okay.
This is their Killarney sock base, so it's a superwash merino nylon base. This is 500 yards, and that was another thing. I wanted to buy a gradient that had more than 400 yards. So even though it's not, I wanted it actually bigger. I liked the size of Ramona's shawl, and she said she used the entire skein for it. Although I think she had the MCN base. I'm not sure.
See, I'm not a blue person, but you put in a little bit of brown, like Ravenswood Fiber Co. down east had on her website. She has this really light pink, and I'm like, that's not the pink, and then the brown with it.
It's very beachy.
It makes it very earthy.
Yeah.
So this goes from turquoise to cream to this sort of sandy brown, and it's called Seafoam. That is the colorway. So I'll be making the red sky shawl with the turquoise in the center going out.
I love those very beachy colorways.
Yeah, and I was at the stall with Eric of Sticks Plus Twine and a friend of his that was visiting from out east. Somebody, he had met actually through the community. And I think Shamika was there too, and I'm like, I don't know, which one do you think, guys? And everybody was like, that one. I'm like, really? Is it really? Yep. So it's their fault that I bought this one.
Shamika, Eric.
All your fault, man.
Shamika's like, I'll take responsibility, sure.
The other thing I bought, which surprised me.
Sorry, that was my chair.
Yeah, but I'm probably going to be testing a shawl for somebody soon, and it's a 3 color shawl, and I'm going to be doing it in 2 purples. And I was like, I need a light colored speckled. So I ended up buying this Hedgehog Fibers in the Urchin colorway that's got purpley pinky speckles going through it, and I'm like, this is going to go with the other 2.
Somebody else just bought that.
Who was selling that? A store?
A store. I don't remember which store.
Purple Pearl?
Somebody else just bought that exact colorway, and I can't think who.
No, not the Purple Pearl. We went to the Purple Pearl after, actually. And sat there and knit, and then went to the sushi place across the street for dinner. That was fun. So it's got pinks and dark purples going through it, so I think this is going to end up being with the other 2 purples when I start test knitting that.
I think maybe it's Ruth is knitting something with the Urchin. I think.
Maybe.
Because
that's ringing
I've
a bell
heard of
now.
it like in the last couple of days.
So this is the twist sock base. They had their single ply, but my other 2 yarns are also sock bases. So there we go.
Turn, because look at this nice big splotch of purple.
I know. It's like, I don't really like purple, but man, that yarn is nice. Like it's just the way they dye it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you can just see inside too. Whoop! I keep going in the wrong direction.
Nice big splooshes.
It's gonna be gorgeous.
Yeah, I think that's gonna go really well because I had bought a fondant fiber.
Oh, surprise.
That goes very nicely with those yarns, and then I was like, not so sure. So I bought this, and so one of the 2 of them will go with the purples. And then
the coaster missed you.
And then they were having raffles.
Oh yeah, she won.
And I won something.
And what is it you always say? You always win when I'm with you. So I wasn't with you.
You're the one who usually wins.
That's
but
what I mean.
I have to say I've had a fair share of my own winning lately. And I won from Cottage Craft Angora. Luxury, Kiviot, knitwear, and yarns. That's who I won from. And it was a value of $95.
Oh yeah, that's just
so cheap. A little lump of Kiviot.
So, actually this is what I bought.
Nice.
This is a 50 Kiviot, 50 cashmere. She said you can choose from any of these ones over here. Some of them were natural, like this one, and some of them were dyed, and I don't know, they weren't calling me, so I decided to get the natural colorway, even though I'm not 100% sure this is my color.
It will suit.
But I thought this is going to get probably some sort of color work or a striped shawl.
Oh yeah. The Kivia I have in my stash is...
So this looks like a plump fingering weight.
Trust me.
Oh, I will.
And actually, Eric was giving out rib buttons, and I have some for you guys, so I have to figure out where they are, for the Rib magazine, which the next edition looks like it's going to be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the softest things I have ever touched.
It is incredible.
You've never touched the Kivia I have?
Kivia is supposed to be 8 times warmer than lamb's wool or sheep wool. And this was actually 120 grams, and it's valued at $108. I was like, wow, I can't believe I won this.
The stuff I have is lace, and it's so tiny, but there's like 500 and some yards in it.
The closest I've ever come to yarn of that quality was the cashmere that Bijou Basin gave us.
Well, and this has cashmere, and you can tell this is not a hard-wearing yarn. This is going to be for something delicate. So
that's got to be something light and fluffy and wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have to think
you're
about
wearing
it.
a cloud.
And I feel like it goes really nicely with blue. So we were gifted a skein of yarn from Artisan Yarn. What were they? Out west.
Seattle Sky?
No, the people who do, the Canadians, the people who do the cat colorways.
Oh, I didn't realize she was in the west. Ancient Arts.
Ancient Arts. That's kind of this colorway, and I thought I might just end up putting the two of them together to make something. But it's really beautiful. Really beautiful.
You were spoiled without spending anything.
Holy camole. I was like, wow, I guess I could just leave now.
I can die happy.
Because this is the first thing that happened almost like as soon as I got there.
So you had like a ticket you filled out, or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Filled out a whole bunch of them and threw them. Well, actually, Ramona did, and then she texted and said, "You want something? Come and get it quick!" Because it was, of course, while supplies last. Like if they had sold everything, I'm not quite sure what they would have given me, but it's fairly pricey yarn, so I'm not sure how quickly they would sell out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
very nice.
So that was it for the frolic. Those 3 skeins and the bag. Now this week, sorry, a little bit off screen here. There's some patterns. Let's not forget those. Mm-hmm. I was in conversation with Kristen of Woolen Vine Yarns, and I ended up buying a skein. I have a new colorways of her because
you wanted the base.
I wanted this colorway because when I saw it, I realized I've been sort of collecting yarn physically and mentally for the Lumpy Space shawl by Stephen West, which I think is the precursor to his eyeball shawl that people are talking about right now. It's got a centerpiece, and then the rest of the shawl is knit kind of out. I don't know. I was going like that. I was off screen, and I wanted to make it
sort of a pinky beige yarn.
I had in my mind that I wanted to do something kind of salmon pink, cream, and like a taupey brown or a light brown or something. And when I saw this, I was like, I think this might be the one. So this is a new colorway by Kristen called Tea Leaves. And this is in her Nouveau base, which is 100% superwash. It's a single ply. And that, I'm pretty darn sure, is going to be going into my Lumpy Space shawl. And there it is. It's just
Those are new business cards. It's like,
yeah, and she's got a new label too. It's black.
Paint.
But look at that. Look at those speckles that are just in there. I'm intrigued by that. Like the rest of the yarn is so pink, and then there's this like splashes. So that's one thing. And then
she's got a box on the floor, folks.
You guys might have noticed the little mouse.
I knew exactly who that was from when you posted it.
This is the one that Isla chose. But Tilly Trout, who as you probably know, Tilly Trouch, and she has her own podcast, and she's a darling, and we met at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and we did our yarn turban. We had our yarn turban picture at Edinburgh. She sent us a package. So we haven't actually looked at this together, so we're going to have to look at it, divvy everything up, but I'll just show you what she sent. So she sent each of us a mouse.
You can go with my cat that Andrea made me.
Oh yeah, my cat's up there.
So there are 3 little mice.
Aww.
And Isla picked this one, and I said, why did you pick that one, Isla? And she said, that's the one with the medium nose. So there you go. So Tilly, this is such a beautiful package.
And the way the paws are made.
And there are,
oh, it's so cute.
They're so adorable.
It has little feet.
When we were at EYF, we were standing around right next to a button booth, and Tilly ended up buying buttons from the booth, and then when she showed them on her podcast, hello, my tickle. Anyway. So when she showed the buttons she had bought, I was like, oh, Tilly, I really regret not getting those buttons because they're so beautiful. So she sent us each a package of buttons, and they are just stunning. I've already chosen the one I've chosen. There's a bee. They are ceramic buttons with insects on them, and they're just beautiful. And they are by Carolyn Barnes Ceramic, and it's cbceramics.co.uk.
Wow.
But they're just stunning. Thank you so much, Tilly. I'll show you guys if you want to have a look at them. And then she sent us some hand creams, so we'll each get some hand cream by Kath Kidston. They're lovely. And a whole bunch of candy. Now, Ina was there when I opened this package, and it was pretty hard not to let her dig in because they're all really cool, and I want some of all of them. So I think we're going to have to...
We can split them up.
We're going to be splitting these up. So there's a package of
those are the best.
The chocolate orange, but in little minis. This is what Isla was trying to get herself into.
The jelly babies.
Jelly babies. And this is the one I'm extremely curious about as well. They're London Sweets, natural, gluten-free. They are Eton Mess candies.
Okay.
So it's kind of a strawberries and cream.
I'm pretty sure I've had those before.
Yeah. And there's a card too, which I'll let you guys read. But thank you so much, Tilly.
Thank you.
Really, I have such fond memories from Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Like I still.
You're
think
still on
about
a high?
I'm still on a high, and I still remember like the moments. It was just really nice, and especially because, you know, how often are we going to make it to Europe for a knitting festival, right? Once.
Or for anything.
Yeah.
Granted, I can't say that. I'm not going to Italy next week.
I have to say I'm really excited about it, but I actually feel like I've traveled enough. I don't usually travel this much. It's usually like once a year, and I'm finding this a bit.
Yeah, you did Cuba and then Edinburgh and now Italy, and that's a
even
lot.
with Toronto this last weekend, you know, I'm kind of like,
I stay home for a bit.
It would have been nice to maybe do this in the fall rather than the spring.
You wanted to have a great 50th year.
All right, I will have done a lot of travel, and then hopefully things will be quiet. I won't be taking much time off this summer, that's for sure. Anyway, but it was really like the memories from Scotland, and I'm so in love with Scotland. I can't tell you how much. It was really, really, really wonderful. So thank you, Tilly. So excited. I'll put those there for now. We can deal with that after. And then there are patterns.
Yes.
Which so the Patrona shawl, which we mentioned. She also sent us 2 others, but I had only printed this one up by Madeline Windsor.
I love it.
And actually Little Bobbins and Katie of Inside 22, I think they both showed this because they...
Inside 23.
Inside 23, sorry, I didn't mean to mislocate you, Katie. They both test knitted this for Madeline, and they both made very different versions.
It reminds me of the Find Your Fade, but it doesn't.
There are different elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Little Bobbins made hers in 2 very muted colors, and Katie did hers in 2 bold colors, and it just... Very different.
I think Madeline's having a knit along, if I remember right from the last
great
episode.
shawl, and it essentially uses two skeins.
Ooh.
One of each.
You know those single skeins of sock yarn that I had?
70 some odd of?
Oh, more than that, and more to come.
I have 70 some odd.
So then I went into Madeline's store, and I was just looking, and then one of her patterns ended up taking me to this other page where there were a whole bunch of patterns, and I ended up buying this cardigan, or rather sweater pattern by Lotta Groger. It was part of a Sweet Georgia yarns.
Oh, that's pretty.
And it's a top with a lace pattern at the top.
It finishes just at the right place.
Yeah, it's really lovely. It's kind of got a boat neck, and it's a DK weight
okay. You're allowed to touch
yarn. So I don't have yarn for this, and I was thinking I probably won't do a lot of yarn shopping in Italy, but I thought if I happen to see the right yarn for this, I might buy that. And then Kate of Hawthorne Cottage Craft gifted me a pattern.
That's so sweet.
And one that I've been wanting to knit, and I actually have the yarn sitting there waiting for it. Now, this is the Juniper by Vera Välimäki.
Oh, sounds so much more. I don't know when
Now,
you say those names.
I have to be honest. The original sweater does nothing for me. It's the other people's FOs that I really like. Her version of it, I find
it's very plain.
Well, it's plain and actually just not terribly interesting. But there are so many people who've made that into really beautiful versions.
Looks like the Stria. The pattern page does nothing, but so
this
many
is almost
beautiful.
It's a very, very plain reverse stockinette.
Yeah.
Boat neck sweater. Like there's nothing.
No, but it's a top down and it's a dolman sleeve.
I would never make it.
And I would never
like
make it looking at it in here. But
for me, it's the reverse stockinette. I don't know.
It's inside out.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, but that works really beautifully with a variegated yarn,
really?
For example.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think I've seen people have it in the reverse stockinette, and other people have it in the stockinette. So, yeah, thank you, Kate, for that. That was really great, and I'm going to be knitting it in a lilac colored Malabrigo sock that I brought back the last time I was there.
And thanks, Madeline, for sending us those patterns.
Yes, thank you. Really nice. Nice to get to know you, because I would have not known who you were. Now I know who you are in your podcast.
Is that it?
Yeah, don't you think that's enough?
Okay.
So much for the yarn diet.
Me? Oh, I've gone off.
Yeah, although I feel very good about all my acquisitions because they're all kind of slotted for things. So I'm good with that.
Next section.
Ooh.
I'm broke, save me money.
I don't know about them. I'm really broke.
The Tangled Skeins CA, which is my shop. I have a 15% off coupon until May 13, and it's called
next Saturday.
Spring Fever 15, and I may possibly extend it. Maybe.
Woolridge Designs, who is our friend Tanya, has 15% off until August 31st, and the code is the word to Tangled 15.
Annie Pearl has offered 15% off until the end of the year, and it's Tangled 15, the number 15.
Geektastic Fibers, 15% off as well until the end of the year, and it's the number 2 and Tangled all spelled out.
Frog Peak Creations has 10% off until the end of the year as well. Number 2T2017.
Bags by Awesome Granny, 10% off. That's an ongoing coupon. And it's the number 2TS and the number 10.
And the last one is 6 Munchkin Stitching. Every single time. She doesn't have to say this. 10% off ongoing as well, and it's spelled out 2 Tangled 10.
I do it on purpose.
We have a lot
so
of
that it works out that I don't have to say it.
So that's it.
Oh, I have a little announcement.
Oh, right. We forgot about the announcement.
Oh, yes, we forgot about this.
A lot of you will be going about time, is what I'm thinking.
You think so?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so.
Well, I've been thinking about this for a long time.
Okay, I need to segue. Before you say this, almost 5 years ago, I asked her to do this podcast with me, and the look on her face was sheer fear. Just say it.
I can't blame her. There's a reason I was just a hand for the first year or so.
Sure.
I've been thinking for over a year, I would say, about having my own podcast.
Yeah.
And it's taken me a long time to get to this, partly out of loyalty and feeling kind of like, I can't leave the girls. And
still come on.
You can still come over once in a while. Yeah.
And also because it is really fun to podcast with other people, but I've just been thinking about having my own podcast. And I'm also technologically not particularly savvy.
We can teach you that part.
But when I told Sue, she was like, well, I can teach you. Forget about the loyalty, and you can come on anytime you want. I was like,
yep.
Okay, I guess I don't have a choice now but to go forward with this. So
no pressure. But we're going to make you do it now.
So I'm not quite sure when this is going to happen, and but I might come on one more time and then start it, and if not, then...
Let us know in the thread what you think of the idea. Might help her decide.
You can come over once in a while anyway.
Yeah. And it'd be kind of fun to do cows together and all kinds of stuff. So
I can win prizes.
Yeah!
And you can win our prizes.
We can't win our own prizes.
So
okay,
anyway,
you better do it.
Oh. So I've been toying with a name, and so far the name is Little Big Knits, which is a reference to Little Big Man, which is a movie with Dustin Hoffman from 1971 that I loved when I was younger. It's full of horrible stereotypes in it, but I still really liked it as a movie, and it's always stuck with me, that idea of being little and big at the same time. And I kind of feel like we do little things as knitters, but it's big at the same time, and even though people don't necessarily give knitting a whole lot of credit, I think that our community is big and strong and wonderful. So anyway.
And sometimes some of the little things we do have a really big impact.
Exactly. So that's what I'm thinking of as a name right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Look at the little thing, Tilly, and everybody recognizes you.
Cat. I knew it as soon as I saw the picture.
Yeah. Isla was totally in love with the mice, I'm telling you. Anyway, that is what I'm thinking about doing. So, might be just another podcast in the world.
But it'll be your podcast.
Yeah. I have loved this experience.
You're welcome.
But she's fed up with us now, so.
And I just, it's just been a great experience.
And you can do it from home. And I feel like podcasting today.
Yeah.
There you
go. Exactly.
Right?
I have to say that life is really busy, and today I had to ask Lynn to drive me because my husband needs the car, and
and week to week is a commitment.
Yeah. I would not be doing it every week. There's no way.
Yeah.
I'm a person, there was one time when I was here for 3 weeks in a row, and at the end of it I was like, I can't do this. Like, I am not a person who does very well with routines, school routines, work routines. If there are things that I have to do like all the time, by the end of the school year, I'm swearing making lunches for my kids. I do not do well with routine.
Well, it's like the poll we did in the thread, like, do you want us all together? Do you mind if we do it alone? Like,
and people seem to like it, whatever, right? So anyway, so I wouldn't be podcasting every week. It would probably be, once every 3 weeks or once every 2 weeks or whenever it works, and on a Sunday or on a Saturday or on a whatever.
Not having to gather everything and get ready and go and plan a ride and
And then you know what? If I realize
I'm here, they all come to me.
I'm not enjoying this, then perhaps I won't do it. I'll just come back. Exactly.
Right.
But I kind of feel like I want to try it.
I think you're gonna like it, and I think you're gonna be surprised about how many people are gonna like it.
I don't know about that.
You guys will go watch her, right?
Well, hopefully too.
Well, there's 2,000 something viewers already.
So anyway, so we'll let you know when that is going to happen, and if I can actually get the thing onto YouTube,
we will help you.
Yeah. So
once Carrie showed me how to do it, it was like, oh, well, that was easy.
I have to say, I think that podcasting has, like, it totally changed my knitting community and made it so much more active. I think everybody can say the same, and It's just been so wonderful.
I think you were surprised.
I really didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I never even thought that one could have a knitting community like it is right now for me, and just
and the people,
the friendships that we've made.
Like you went to Edinburgh and you knew, how many people did you know?
I just, now I've got friends here, I've got friends there that, if I'm saying, hey, I'm coming there, do you want to get together for lunch?
She has a whole tribe in Scotland.
I've got Ireland already planned out for me, apparently.
Can I have my own tartan? Can we have our own clan?
Sean has a tartan.
Yeah.
I know, we have a tartan, my family. Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because what's your what's
French. But we are
French
Celtic
tartan.
French.
Okay.
So we do have a tartan.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Apparently. A family tartan. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the announcement, and we might just see you on 2 podcasts.
Just do it.
Okay.
Oh, and Andrea the cat lady has started podcasting again.
Oh, yay.
Cool.
Good.
Just thought I'd mention that.
It's one of those ones I miss in my little rotation because all my friends I watch, and then I watch some other people I know, and then other people I know, and then I go back to my circle.
Podcasts.
Yeah, but my circle of friends, those are the ones I watch first. There's Michael, there's Mandy. I haven't watched her in a little bit. Has she made any?
It's been about a month, I think.
And there's Sarah.
I'm a week behind.
And Shamika, and now Ramona in Toronto has one. It's called But I'm Knitting.
I had no idea. Sorry, Ramona.
Tanis Fiber Arts has one.
Yeah. Mushrooms. Podcasts are like mushrooms.
I've watched a lot of podcasts this week.
Like Delicious in Butter? What are we talking
They just
about
keep
here?
popping up everywhere. Oh, okay.
I've been on a mushroom kick lately, but eating them, not growing them. So, yeah.
Mushrooms are wonderful.
I had a moment.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Another long one. You might have to take a break, but hey.
But that's it, I think, eh?
Yep. We're done.
Cool.
It is.
Yeah. Well, have a good recovery.
I will.
I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to see her at work this week. I don't know where my mouse is going. My mouse is taken off.
My boss is
You put it back in the Ziploc.
I did. I put
the box.
Oh, okay.
My boss is completely supportive, and so are everyone else, and the community. I mean, like the post that I put on Instagram, and the comments, and the private messages, and the direct messages, and people asking me for my address. We need to send you stuff. It's just like, yeah,
pretty awesome. It really. I don't want to get teary-eyed, but this community is pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, see you next time.
You were the one who was... Anyway.
Finish your thought.
No, I'm not going to finish the thought.
Now everybody's going to wonder.
No, I was laughing, and she was saying, you're the one who was saying we might need to stop because you've been crying. But that's sort of an all-week thing, so...
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go now.
Yep.
Okay.
Take care, everybody.
Look out for this one.